Hello, my name's Shelby Conway, and this is my theory project called The Theory of Culture, Care, Diversity, and Universality by Madeline Leninger. Madeline Leninger, she was born in 1925 in Nebraska. She joined the Cadet Nurse Corps with her sister during World War II. She started her nursing career in 1950 after she graduated nursing school from St. Anthony's. She received her bachelor's degree in biological science. She minored in philosophy, humanistic studies. She also received her master's degree in psychiatric nursing. After doing that, she got her master's degree in psychiatric nursing. She also started the first master's level clinic specialist program in psychiatric nursing. She wrote one of the first psychiatric nursing textbooks. She opened a new psychiatric unit and worked as a director on that unit. She was one of the world's first professional nurses to earn a PhD in anthropology as well. Sadly, she passed away in 2012. She had wrote over 30 books and won numerous awards. I don't think she was ever married. I couldn't find anything on that, and she also didn't have any children. The overview of culture, care, diversity, and universality theory, the focus of the theory was on transcultural nursing. The definition in the book is transcultural nursing is a substantive area of study and practice focused on comparative cultural care, values, beliefs, and practices of individuals or groups of similar or different cultures with the goal of providing culture-specific and universal nursing care practice and promoting health or well-being, or to help people face unfavorable human conditions, illness, or death in a culturally meaningful way. So it's basically just trying to provide a more inclusive nursing care that focuses on each patient's individual culture. It's the only theory that is holistic and comprehensive in culture care. The scope of the practice is broad because it's transcultural. It can be used in any culture in the world. The origin of the culture theory was in Cincinnati, Ohio, when she noticed a lack of understanding between staff and culture care and how that culture influenced children in their behaviors in the psychiatric setting. Her theory, some people consider it grand in range, but she did not specifically consider her theory grand. I think it's more middle range since it's more specific in focus, since it's more specific in culture, even though culture can be grand. The first major concept of her theory is person. It could be human being, a family, group, community, or institution. It doesn't just have to be a specific one client. That person cannot be understood outside of their cultural context. So that person could be lots and lots of things in her theory. The second major concept of her theory is environment. Environment is really broad in context. It can be anything from event, situation, or experience. It can be the socioeconomic, political, or physical, but it has to be in a cultural context because the environment concept is very broad because it could be lots of things because our environment influences on a daily basis. The third major concept is health. She didn't consider health just the absence of disease or illness. She wanted to think of it as a focus on health in like a positive state of well-being. Since health is different from culture to culture, it's kind of individual for that person, group, community on how they define health in their culture. So that's why it varies from culture to culture. So you have to view it from the person or patient's unique cultural background. The last concept is nursing. She considered nursing a transcultural care profession. It's because we have lots and lots of different patients with lots of different cultures, and we really need to be researching more and more on individual cultures and how they affect that individual's and how they view healthcare. And that can be anything from assisting, supporting, or enabling the person's needs that align with their, as long as it aligns with their cultural values and beliefs. Some unique concepts of her theory would be the transcultural nursing and also the three modalities to guide nursing judgment. The first one would be culture care preservation or maintenance, culture care accommodation or negotiation, and culture care repatterning or restructuring. The culture care preservation, it can be assistive or supporting, enabling nursing actions or assessments. It helps the patient or people in their community who have unique culture, and it can be beneficial as long as it's in line and congruent with their culture. The culture care accommodation or negotiation, it's also assistive in supporting nursing implementations or assessments, but it helps adapt or negotiate with people or people in their community to have healthier outcomes. The culture care repatterning or restructuring, it's also an assistive supporting nursing implementations and assessments. It helps patients reprioritize, and it can also help them modify their lifestyle so they can have healthier outcomes. It's not just focusing on an individual, it focuses on the patient, their community, and trying to change any little thing we can do to help accommodate their lifestyles and their culture. That way we get the whole culture making healthier decisions and not just one person. Assumptions of the theory includes culturally based care. It's essential for patients' well-being, health, and helps with patients deal with new diagnoses and also death. Culturally based care is essential for curing and healing. It's the most comprehensive way to critically think and predict ways to guide nursing implementations for that culture. Every human culture has generic care knowledge and practices, and usually professional knowledge and practices. Also, cultural conflict usually reflects a lack of cultural understanding, which is why we need to research more and provide more responsible and sensitive care for that culture. Leninger, she had a proposition she had for her theory that had shared commonalities and universal attributes. Those included meanings and patterns that are diverse. It was everything from the worldview that includes religion, environment, language, and it helps predict the health outcomes and how that patient and their culture view new diagnoses and even death. There's generic emic and professional emic care that can influence health and illness. There was also three major actions and decision modes in the proposition that influence health care to different cultures. That was what we previously talked about: the culture care preservation, the culture care accommodation, and culture care repatterning. Limitations of Leninger's theory is that it's broad and specific in its applicability. It also needs more research on patients and their cultures. It can make nurse staff aware, but there needs to be more research needed to help awareness reflect better health outcomes. It's also qualitatively orientated. Evaluation describes how the theory relates to and is applicable to the nursing practice in general. The past for this theory, it was created in the 1950s. It was developed and started to be used in the early 1960s. It's also the only theory that focused on cultural well-being that was holistic and culturally centered nursing care. The goal of the theory was to recognize values and beliefs that are special to the culture of each individual patient or community. The present is that it is still culturally congruent treatment, and the goal is desired in healthcare today is to be culturally aware, and it's expected in nursing practice today, but still needs to have more research done. So hopefully in the future, the culturally congruent treatment will lead to better quality and health and well-being in patients' outcomes. Describe how the theory relates to nursing education. In the past, The transcultural nursing did not exist until Linenger created it in the 1950s, started using it in the 1960s, and it was not looked at as a necessity at the time. Presently, the theory is taught in nursing school. It was a major component to recognize different cultures and do that without any bias or prejudice, and to provide quality care to the patients that's unique and respects the client's culture, even if it's different from your own culture or beliefs. And in the future, hopefully more students being taught now will help culture care be included and be in service, hopefully, and have more research done so that nurses can be aware of patients and their families and their unique needs. Describe how the theory relates to nursing research. The theory related to nursing research in the past due to lack of other theories that existed in regards to clients' culture. Presently, culture care has led to more options for patients in the hospital, such as kosher diet options, different medication options for different cultures. In the future, it will hopefully create more researches and advances in medicine and nursing practice so we can be more congruent and have unique plan of care for each patient. Describe how the theory is used or could be used in your current practice setting. We use culturally based care upon admission during our MSI screening, where we ask the patients, do you have any culture or religious preferences we need to be aware about to give you better quality care while you're in the hospital. The patient population I deal with would be veterans. I work at the VA Medical Center, and we deal with veterans from World War II all the way to presently active veterans. The implementations of using my selected theory in my practice at my current setting, I don't really feel like there are any. It can only help benefit the patients to know their culture and how they view things. It can help keep biases and prejudice out of nursing practice. I work with veterans, and it helps being aware of what time they served and experiences they went through to have a better understanding and better of their patient behavior, and also helps create better patient outcomes.